Sounds about right.
Yeah. My
Oh, that's
my
funny.
shoe collection of those days where I was obsessed with like Aldo shoes and I had like so many heels for days, like a closet full of heels, like 50, 60 heels. It was stupid. It's stupid. Like
And now the part of you that knows about how important alignment is probably
alignment
just
is. And I'm like
cringing at the
going,
very thought
I
of it.
lived in heels for so long in my
And
life
now
and
we're
was
in
so
zero
proud of
drop.
it. Yeah, now I'm zero drop. Only please. No, thank you.
Holy Wild Birth is a podcast embracing the reclamation of giving birth, rooted in God's original design, undisturbed.
Here, we share homebirth stories highlighting God's presence as the great midwife, as well as conversations about all aspects of a holistic, spirit-led childbearing year. From the perspectives of myself, traditional midwife Lauren Hall of Rooted in Eden Private Contract Association,
And me, holistic doula and birth keeper Brooke Collier of Sister Birth.
to choose a holy wild birth journey is to consecrate all your decisions unto the Lord.
And to reclaim creation unadulterated by centuries of human attempts to control and improve upon what God has already called good.
Please remember, birth is not a medical event, but a natural process. We are not your care providers, and this should not be taken as medical advice.
Hello, friend.
Hi.
Me.
Here we
I'm
are.
excited. Yeah, I'm excited to have this next cup of tea chat, and I was kind of giggling that maybe one of these I'll actually have a cup of tea with me. Um,
Today's not the day for me either.
yeah, I do have a special drink though. So I've got a sparkling mineral water, San Pellegrino, but it has Malian herbs, birch beer, herbal honey in it.
Ooh, fun.
So our friend Molly, she makes these. Have you seen the infused honeys she makes?
Yes, because I used to have some. I had her turmeric one, and
Uh-huh.
I think it was like an elderberry one or something. They were so good.
Yeah. I have a chai one of hers, and then this one is birch beer, and it's got like liver health stuff and elimination, just supporting the elimination processes. But it's birch bark and sassafras and dandelion and I can't ever say that word. Sarsaparilla.
Sassafras. Oh,
No,
sarsaparilla. Okay.
sassafras, some sarsaparilla root.
All right. Oh,
So
fun.
it's super yummy. I'm really impressed with it. And she recommends putting it in like a sparkling water, so it's kind of like a healthy root beer almost.
Oh, that's a
So
great idea. Did it
I've been
dissolve okay
enjoying
in the
it.
sparkling water? It did?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
not at
I would think the
first,
honey would
which
have trouble.
yes, not at first because I also did it wrong and didn't follow the directions.
Mm.
So she tells you to put 1 to 2 tablespoons in a bit of water until it dissolves and then add your carbonated water to it. And I
Oh,
was
skipped that
I was in the waiting for a birth.
part. Uh-huh.
And so I was sitting, it was in one of those times where you like leave to give a little space, but you're like just waiting on the edge of the seat to run back kind of times.
Yeah.
And so I was sitting there with my birth team and we were just sitting at the park bench, real close to the house. And I was like, hey, I've got this in my bag because I bought 2 of them. And I was like, this will be a nice little treat for all of us. So we bought a case of the sparkling waters and I was like trying to stick it in the bottle itself. And then I went, I didn't think this through. That's not going to dissolve. So I shook it and let it like tilted a while. And I was like, oh, look, she told me to not do it that way. But after a while, it just finally settled so that because there's still a little bit of like the herb too. And so that kind of settled. And I let it sit for a while in the fridge and came back to it. And like it now tastes like it infused it essentially.
That's awesome.
And so all of the sediment that didn't completely dissolve is at the very bottom and it tastes great. So
That is so
that's my tip.
fun. My kids are always making they call it like root beer tea because we have so much sassafras on our property, and they'll like gather the roots from that and just boil it on the stove and sometimes throw some other herbs or cinnamon into. And yeah, that's fun. Anyway, we'll have to share Molly and herbs in the show notes because it makes me want to go buy more of those honeys again to have on
they're so
board.
good.
They're so good. Like even just, I used to put the elderberry or the turmeric one in hot water with just some lemon and honey, or just with some lemon, I mean.
That's how I do my other herbs that I've gotten from her. Just hot water, and you just, it's like a tea and the sweetener ready to go. And it's a nice to have in your birth bag because then it's like, I've got a nice cozy drink that is just ready to go, and I just need hot water. So,
good thought to put it in the birth bag. Okay, well, for me, I don't have a special drink. I just downed the rest of I was drinking a key lime flavored kombucha today.
Ooh, yum.
Which was my favorite flavor recently. But it was 97 degrees here today. And that's really hot for Michigan. So I thought I deserved a kombucha. But it's gone now. So no special drink here again. Now, ironically, even though it's so hot outside, my office in the lower level of the house is so cold. Like it's...
Oh, really?
The air conditioning is too effective down here. Plus it's like basement level. So I actually have a blanket on right now, even though it's 100 degrees real feel outside. But the upstairs of my house is like quite warm. So anyway, tea and chat with no tea. Here we are.
Tea chat with no chat. It's just a friend chat.
Yeah. Hopefully our listeners are drinking something.
Yeah. It'll be fun to see how many we do before we actually have a chat.
I know. It will be funny.
We're fitting in of when we can actually record this doesn't always fit the like tea time.
Right. Like right now it's 8:30 almost my time. So
right. Yeah. So hopefully you're enjoying, listeners, some warm beverage or just a fun beverage. I think good beverages are important. It's a thing.
You know how on Spotify, if you're listening to a podcast, you can leave comments on an episode? I want our listeners to say in the comments what they're drinking while they listen to this, or what they wish they were drinking while they were listening to it. What do you wish you were drinking?
What are you going to go make now?
Yeah. Tell us. We will read the comments.
Or you can have the same conversation over in our Mighty Networks. Talk about it there.
Even better. Share all the drinking.
I think the more comments you make in the Spotify might put us in front of other people that might be fellow tribe members yet to have found us. But I do want to have more conversations in the Mighty Network. So
yeah, okay. Either one is fine, people. Either one's fine.
Lauren
and I, just before we hit record, we realized that we independently of one another downloaded the same app on our phones since we last recorded. So last time we recorded a cup of tea, we told you guys that we were going to be leaning less on social media for our businesses, and then also that we were going to be doing that break, the social media kind of break over the summer. And so apparently the algorithm powers that be decided to service up the same ad for this app called Be Present, which
I love it.
It's been really good, right? Like I'm really liking it.
I really love it. The part that I love the most is that you can block everything, or, what you need not blocked. And you can set like hours of your day that are like, I don't want to have, my phone even like available to me essentially, unless it's, phone, text message, I want to be able to access my Bible all the time. I want to be able to play music at any point, those kinds of things. I want to be able to access my Google Maps, but everything else is locked out. So you can pick that. And then, but I think my favorite part is the goal setting that you can do for certain
the intentions.
So like,
right? Like I intend to only pick up this app X number of times for X number of minutes per day.
Yes. And then
per time,
it just turns it off for you. So like, and it reminds you of your intention. So like when you open the app, it's like, okay, I'm only going to open Instagram 3 times, and I'm only going to be on it in a day, and I'm only going to be on it for 7 minutes. And when you click on that button and it'll pop up, you said you only wanted to be here you've opened it 0 times today, or you've opened it 1 time today, and you'll have 7 minutes. Do you want to open it right now, or do you not? And it's like this never mind button, or yeah, like, yes, I do.
Yep.
Thank you. And then
it really slows you down. So you have to actually have a think about it. Like, is
am I
this what I
wanting to
want to
open
do
it?
right now? Is this the best time to use one of my 3
Right.
opens for Instagram, or should I wait?
Right.
And like, yeah, it stopped me so many times.
I've been not hitting my 3, and I like that it's like, hey, 30 seconds, I'm turning it off, and then it just shuts it down, and then you have to open it again and use your 3rd time to stay on longer.
Mine doesn't give me a 30-second countdown. What?
Does it not?
Figure that out. No, I'll have to figure out if I'm missing something there that I have to turn on. But anyway.
It pops up like a little notification on my top, and it says, hey, 30 seconds, cool. I'm closing it down. So anyways, I have found, because I think it's a neurodivergent thing, I don't know, but we do this thing, like my mom and I and some of my closest friends we do this thing called pebbling, where it's like, oh, I'm sending you this reel because I've made me think of you, because it's funny, or because I know you'll find it interesting, or whatever. And so there's kind of 3 main people in my life that send those things. And so I was like, okay. So I would click on Instagram or Facebook to see the reel, and then I would get lost because, I saw that, and then the next one shows up, and then,
because it's designed to make you get lost. It's trying to do that to you.
It's trying to. And so what I've done is I have my times, and I'm like, okay, Mom has sent me these 3, and Michaela has sent me these 2, and Caitlin sent me 1. And so I just pick okay, I've got 7 minutes. I'll do this later on, and I'll watch the 5 reels that they've sent me. And that's the only thing I'm going to watch. And so I'm not even opening it to be like, I want to scroll Instagram right now. I'm like, no, I want to see what they sent me. And I have to set it all at one time. And it's like just I still get my little love from my friends and my mom, but it's all in this concise little time box that is making me intentionally choose to only see what they've sent me and actually appreciate that as a real pebble of love, instead of, oh, that was funny. Cool. Oh, what's next? What's next? What's next? Like, it's like, oh, they wanted me to see this, and they wanted me to see this, and they wanted me to see this. It's like opening my mail instead of scrolling through Instagram.
That's a lovely shift. I like that so much.
It's been fun. I've liked it.
So I actually deleted Instagram and Facebook from my phone entirely because of this break. But even before I did briefly have them on there at the same time as the Be Present app, and it did help me reduce my use of them a lot. So I think that intentions feature is really helpful.
Yeah.
I also have started putting my phone to bed on the other side of my bedroom, and I have a weird big bedroom. So I used to always have it on my nightstand, and now I put it to bed on the opposite side of the room. And I bought myself an alarm clock, like an actual table alarm clock, so that I can see what time it is, and I can set it if I need to wake up at a certain time.
Sure.
And then I also made a little docking station for my phone during the day. I have this little tray basket in the hallway that I can just put it in and walk away from it for periods of time. Yeah. So just kind of trying to shift some habits around to not be as dependent. I also unsubscribed from all of my news sources, which might have been a mistake.
Solid.
Because I used to really intentionally subscribe to different news sources. I would intentionally subscribe to ones I knew leaned left, ones I knew leaned right, and a few that I knew were more center. Sure. So I was trying to get a good variety of news, but it felt noisy in my head. So I was I should step back. But then church on Sunday, priest during the homily, he opened up his homily with "Welcome to the Apocalypse," and I was like, "What's going on? What did I?" He's like, I'm saying that partly joking, but partly also the news events of the last 36 hours are, concerning. No matter if you're. He said, we're a pretty purple congregation, but whether you're blue or red, it's still concerning. And we are a purple congregation, which is one reason I love it. So then on the car ride home, the whole church service, I was like, what? Why is it apocalypse? And I had to wait till the car ride home to ask Tim, what happened in the last 36 hours? I don't know anymore because I'm not even getting Instagram news. let alone my
Right.
like news service emails.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it at all either, largely because I've been at a longer birth, but I only saw a bit because of a friend of mine, and like messaging about it. And so I'm only on Instagram or Facebook to see the mail that I
Yeah.
get from my friends and my mom. Like I'm not scrolling it. So I didn't remove it completely because of that, because I was like, well, now I'm missing this like little love moment. And so anyways, so the Be Present has helped me with that. But then
Yeah.
I'm not, I'm not on it scrolling and looking and doing and whatnot. And so anyways, that's a lot. I don't know if I even want to go into the apocalypse right now. But
No, I
also
don't.
didn't know
I
anything
don't.
about it.
I don't want to go into the apocalypse. It was like not this weekend, but last weekend. So like, anyway, yeah, and I don't really want to. It was just in very brief. It was the Iran-Israel thing primarily.
Right.
That was
Absolutely.
the apocalypse thing he was referring to. So
Absolutely.
So
So
yeah,
it's
let's
a
not get
lot,
into current
but
events.
yeah, it does remind me of something that I saw a while back. They were talking about like we weren't designed to know what's going on the other side of the world. Like, which now
Yeah.
this is our country's involved and all this, like okay, but I'm not saying it's important to not, that it's not important to know current events, but in general, there's a level of anxiety and depression and just mental instability because we know way too much.
Right.
Like in years gone by, it would have been like, what's going on in your community. And if there was a big enough event happening that's affecting your whole country, it was like, like letters would be sent and you would eventually get, like, but there was a lot, it was even in big events, it was still a slower process and there was less noise to be hearing too. And it's like, our nervous systems weren't designed to be this wrapped up in what's going on the other side of the world, or
Truly
even the
not.
other state away from you. Like even, like it's just a lot. Like we should deeply care about our community and we should deeply care about people and the globe. God died for the whole world. But, this is, it's a lot. And it's like, it's okay to just be in your sphere of influence. And then if you need to know about the other things, God will make you aware.
Like to give the majority of your attention to your local community that you can actually see and interact with on a daily basis. And instead of letting the first thing that happens to you in the morning is that you're assailed with world events and news from all over the country. And usually the news is bad, it's slanted negative. So I just got to the point where I was like, I don't know that I want to start my day with reading 5 news sources, even if they are very balanced politically.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
I just think I don't need that right now. So
I think we should be praying more about those things than just bringing in that information,
Yeah.
So
that's a good point too. Yeah.
Anyhow.
Well, have you been reading anything interesting over the last month or watching anything interesting?
See.
Either one.
Let's see. Reading, and I mean, I'm always reading. I've been reading a lot of research and case studies on some interesting stuff lately. But actually, what I do want to tell you about was I watched a documentary called The Lunatic Farmer.
Oh, yeah.
It's Joel Salatin. I might have told you this separately.
You did, but tell me more. You didn't say a lot.
So good. I couldn't remember. I was like, wait, did we have this conversation or was this on the other podcast? Because I don't think it was.
No, I think it was on Telegram. Chatting there.
Okay. It was so good. And I did share it with a lot of people because I just loved it. And I couldn't help but see. So it's Joel Salatin. He is all about like regenerative farming and really taking care of animals and the land. And as he says, like giving God a return on his investment. Like when he's stewarding the land, he wants to give God a return on his investment. And I just love that. And he talks about like sowing forgiveness into the land and like, and just the way he thinks about the land and the animals he's called to steward and what he's taking care of. I was just like, one, fascinated, but also I was like, he thinks about these things like I think about the body and birth. Like, yes, it's like he gets it. He gets the way he is pairing the cattle and the as herbivores with the poultry, his chickens. He was like, God, you always see that in the wild. The birds are coming in and they're picking up the stuff that's left in the I forgot the word I was looking for, like the bowel movements of the those herbivores. So like there's the elephants leaving their patties and then the birds come in and peck at it and they're making sure it's like it keeps them parasite free, right? Like they're cleaning up and they're making sure they're eating the flies and stuff that might agitate those big animals. And so he does that. He like pairs the cattle and then he moves them along the land and then he brings the chicken and then the chickens come and pick and scratch through the cow patties and then they move them again. And so he just rotates and his land is beautiful and there's all of this like gorgeous, like he has plants growing up on his property that they're like, we don't know where this came from. These are 300-year-old seeds that like died off. Like how, like this is what is happening here. And it's because of the way he has let the pigs handle like how he's moved them and all of this grazing pasture that's like flourishing with plant life. Like they're not just, it's not all damped down and like barren because the cows came through and ate all the grass. Like it's flourishing. Like they have an abundance of food. These herbivores, like abundance of food because of the way he stewarded the land and the animals and the relationship. And it was beautiful. And I geeked out completely on that documentary. It's on the Angel Network, but so good. Oh, so good. And it's definitely made me want to read some of his books. He's got one called The Marvelous Pigness of Pigs that I have had set aside to like I started to read it and then like by recommendation and then never actually like followed through. So I was like, oh, that's a great concept. I love that. And then I just never picked it up. And so I was like, I need to read this now. This guy is my kind of dude.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you did send me a guest link to watch that and I haven't done it yet. We'd had family movie night Saturday. That would have been a good pick. Because my kids loved the documentary, The Biggest Little Farm, which is along similar lines. So I feel like they would probably also like The Lunatic Farmer.
Yeah.
But we'll have to get to that soon.
What about you? What have you been reading? I know you've been on lots of book reading lately.
I am on such a roll. And it feels so good. And I know it's because I broke up with social media. Like I read so much more when I'm not on social media. So I've been reading a lot of variety, and we went on a trip. So since last you and I recorded, we went to the Upper Peninsula for a few days. So that was like some extra reading time, even on the drives and then on the beach and so on and so forth. So I read a novel about a butler in England, and then he's reflecting on his life of service as a butler. That sounds kind of dull, but it was actually really good. And it's actually won a Nobel Peace Prize. It was called The Remains of the Day.
The Remains of the Day?
The Remains of the Day. And most of the books I read are books lately. Okay, let me back this up. My parish has a women's book club that is unlike any book club I've ever been a part of before. Because instead of there being one book where everyone reads it and you talk about it, every woman comes to the club with her stack of reading that she's working on or has finished recently. And we take turns telling everyone about what we're reading. So it's really fun because you both get to know people because what people are reading tells you a lot about them, right?
Yeah.
And what they're interested in, what they care about, and what things their life holds even. So you get to know people, and then also every once in a while, or often actually, somebody will mention a book that you didn't know about before, and based on what they said about it, it's like, I'm adding that to my reading list. Thank you for sharing that with me. So that's been really impacting my reading list lately.
It's a fun book list or book club idea.
Yeah, it's so fun. In fact, it was so fun that I had my eldest daughter, I helped her start one too. So her and her teen friends get together once a month and do the same thing.
Love
Super cute.
that.
Yeah. So that was a good read fiction-wise, and then I won't tell you everything I've read because that would be a long list, but what else? I read this little book called The Bethlehem Midwife, which is written by this
I saw
doctor.
that I saw that you mentioned that. I would love to know more about
It
it.
wasn't really that good. I can't say that
No?
I would recommend it. It was only
Oh,
like
sad.
50 or 70 pages or something, so I read it like on the drive up to the Upper Peninsula in one sitting, and it was okay. I wouldn't recommend.
Okay.
For family read aloud, we read Skellig by somebody Almond, which is a really fascinating little piece. And okay, I'm almost done with The Sabbath Way, written by one of my old friends from elementary school, who's now a professor of
Fun.
Hebrew and Old Testament. He wrote a book about the Sabbath that's really lovely. So I'm working through that. Lastly, this is kind of fun. My grandfather wrote his memoirs in his 70s, and he passed away 10 years ago, and he finished these just a couple years before he passed away. And I've had the book on my shelf for ages, but I finally just got it out and read it all last night.
Oh,
I read the entire
wow.
thing in one sitting. So that was fun. Like I think I'd read it before a long time ago, but this time I was reading it just kind of with different eyes and ears, I guess, to notice different things. And my grandmother, so his wife, who's still living and just turned 90, has been working on her memoirs also and is releasing them to the family at her 90th birthday party next month.
Oh, that's
so I'll soon have hers too. And I'm just really excited about that. Yeah.
That's such a treasure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels really special. So I felt like it was fun to reread his right before I'm going to be able to read hers.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they will have different things they emphasize because a lot of their years overlap. They were married a long time.
Sure.
They got married when they were 19 and 20.
Right.
But I know she'll have different perspective than him. And they also, I know his got into her genealogy a bit. So it was kind of fun. There's a genealogy in the back tracing that part of my family back to the early 1500s in England.
Wow. That's very cool.
Yeah. It's just kind of fun to see. So I was like on a map last night looking up the different towns in England that my family lived in over like those hundreds of years until they immigrated here in the 90s. And it just jazzed me up. My brother and I, independently of each other, have started dreaming about going to England and visiting the places that our family lived. And we just discovered that this week that we've both been wanting to do that. So I'm kind of hoping
that's fun.
There may be a brother-sister England pilgrimage in our future.
Yeah. That would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you said you read the memoir again and just read it with new eyes, I would love to know, if you want to share, obviously, like if there was anything that just felt wow, I don't know I ever thought about that, or I didn't know that, or anything that just really popped out to you, or maybe made you see your family in a different light.
This was an interesting theme that emerged, was both his parents, so my great-grandparents, and he and my grandmother seemed to have a lot of solid friendships with other couples that were like lifelong couple friendships.
Yeah.
And I thought that's unique. I don't feel like I know a lot of my peers who have that kind of long-standing couple-on-couple friendship that lasts like literal decades. And it got me wondering, like, what's behind that? Was it just like the times? Was it culture? Was it their character? Was it, I don't know, that just stuck out to me.
Yeah.
Also, he's very stoic. He's a really pretty stoic man. So there's like all these hard facts about people and deaths and stuff. And I don't know. Yeah.
It'll be fun when you hear, it'll be fun to hear when you read your grandmother's, if there's any other nuggets that kind of build on that.
It will. Yeah, I'm really excited about it. His memoir was called Practically Perfect because that's what he always said. If you asked, how are you doing? He'd say, practically perfect every time.
That's so good.
And that totally comes through, just the optimist, stoic kind of guy. Anyway. Yeah. So one more reason I'm interested in this English history of my family, they emigrated here in the 90s, my great-grandmother and great-grandfather, is now I'm going to an Anglican church. And I was like, oh, this is kind of, I didn't occur to me right away that the Anglican church is the Church of England.
Sure.
And I was like, oh, I'm having like a whole nother layer of tie-in with England right now. That's so between my family history and that, I totally want to get over there.
Fun.
I can't believe I've never been. Need some English countryside.
That's super cool. Well, I will pray that you get to do that.
Thank you. Yeah, totally shifting gears.
Yeah.
You have had a couple of tragedy might be too strong of a word. Fiascos?
Chaos?
Like one of them I feel like happened maybe literally the day after we recorded this podcast is when you broke your thing?
My foot. Broke my foot. Y'all, I broke my foot. It was 4 weeks ago now, a little over 4 weeks ago. So I remember it was a Friday night. So I don't remember exactly when that falls as far as when the last time we recorded the cup of tea one, but it was 4 weeks ago. So I'm sure it was probably right after. And I was coming down the stairs, and my house is in such that most of the living happens upstairs. Downstairs is my prenatal room where, in my office. And then we do have kind of this big open space that is supposed to be a playroom, kind of like storage unit.
Room storage.
It's just ridiculous.
And you birthed your babies in there.
I did birth my babies in that room because that was where I could put a birth pool. And because I wanted to be able to, I kind of used the prenatal room since I was going to be off call and not having prenatals and stuff. I used that as like my postpartum sanctuary. So I wanted to be close to that space. And so we birthed down, I put the pool there. But anyways, neither here nor there. So there's this big open space, and then the family closet and laundry room is downstairs. So anyway, I'm coming down the stairs to help my daughter get her clothes and get ready for bed. And all the lights are dark downstairs because there's nothing going on there. So we didn't have any candles lit, and it's dark, and there's nothing, there was no light sources. So it was completely black was the point of all of that. And I sit down off the bottom step, and there was a wooden whittled axe, it's really flat, very smooth wood, like it's an axe shape, but it's just a toy. So the whole thing is wood. There's no metal pieces on it. It was just like a ring pair whittled thing. And so, right, I was like, when I say this, I'm like, I'm not saying an axe. It's like, it was a toy axe, but it's all wood and it's flat. And if like a good whittle has that nice smooth edges, and so it just slid. So I stepped on it and it slid right across the floor, and my foot just twisted right under. So I knew immediately it was broken. It felt different than any sprain or twist I had ever had. It was like, that's broken. That is broken. And I have a pretty high pain tolerance, and I vocalized very loudly. And everybody in the house was like, no, what happened? Like, they all came running, because normally if I get hurt, I kind of go very, very quiet, and I just start tapping, or I'll kind of go up and then just go quiet. But I was like 3 or 4 times just really loud. They were like, okay, what's happening? So anyhow, I immediately called my chiropractor, who just happens to also be a friend. And, so I called her cell. It was like, so I broke myself. And I think I maybe texted first. I texted and was like, I'm pretty sure I just broke my foot, and so she sent me a text back, or maybe I called and she sent me a text and was like, hey, I'm doing bedtime with, is everything okay? And then I was like, I broke myself. Pretty sure I broke my foot, She's like, okay, let me get them settled. I'll call you right back. And so she called, she FaceTimed me. I told her what I was feeling. I had gotten out my tuning forks and checked it. I could literally feel the vibration in my chest. Like I was nauseous, like the bone. It was like, I was like, this is different. There is a pain in my bones up in the upper part of my body. Like it was like you could feel the
Interesting.
detachment. I was like, that, my foot is gone. You know, like I was like, I can't feel I don't know. It makes no sense, but it was like the circuit was broken. It's like that's not connected anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And just the vibration, it was like my whole body was like, where'd it go? So I don't know if that makes any sense
That's weird.
to anybody else.
I've never experienced a bone break, so I can't imagine what that feels like in my body, but
it was weird.
It's an interesting description.
I had never experienced it before until then, and I was like, this is different than it's disconnected. Like I feel like something broke my circuit. Like it's just like and just the vibration in my chest and the nausea and the whole thing. And so I literally, I had seen something about 2 or 3 weeks ago or 2 or 3 weeks before the break happened, where the Human Garage people were talking about like the power of speaking and understanding like pain, like speaking to the pain and understanding like, and just almost telling your body like, thank you for letting me know about that injury. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm okay. I'm safe. And the just incredible design of our body to have pain relief. And so that came to mind. And so I literally told my body, I was just like, I said out loud, I was like, thank you for telling me about my foot. I am aware. I will take care of it. I will not ignore it.
Thank you.
I will. I'm safe. I'm okay. And my pain went down from an 8 to like a 2 immediately. Like it just dropped.
That's so incredible.
Like, okay, that's better. It's still broken, but I'm good. And you could see it, like the swelling was very different than like a sprain. And so I wrapped it up, went to the chiropractor in the morning, and she x-rayed it. She went in there and took care of me, even though it was her day off and the office was closed and all the things. She got me in there, x-rayed it, and was not displaced. And since it wasn't displaced and it was just a nice clean break of the 5th metatarsal, I didn't need to there was nothing else to do. Like I didn't need to be in a cast. There was nothing free floating. There was no need for so I just didn't use the medical system. I used the shockwave therapy that she offered in office. That hurt a lot. It felt like I was like, I feel like you just sent little elves to hammer my foot back into place.
Little elves.
Feel good. It was like
your
felt like little
descriptions are really on point tonight.
it just it's what it is. It's what it is. It was like they're hammering it back into place and it doesn't feel good. So it was like 5 to 10 minutes. The shockwave therapy is like the sound therapy of laser. I don't know the best way to regurgitate. It made sense. I knew she offered it, and it's kind of similar to the cold laser therapy that I am more familiar with, that it's stimulating the mitochondria, etc. But it's like you hear it go tick, 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 and each time it would tick, that like vibration and laser would go in, and you would feel that like it was like, it feels like you're hitting me with hammers, little tiny hammers. And so it was about 5 or 10 minutes, but literally after the session, the blood flow was improved, the bruising was improved, felt better, and I literally had no pain at all for the next 6 hours. It was just like, wow. I was like miraculous. I was like, okay, glad we did that. And then I was using my homeopathy. I was dosing myself with like a first aid formula I had made. I don't normally mix homeopathies, but in first aid situations, it's appropriate. So I did arnica and Bellispur and Symphedum and Ruta. And so I was doing water dosing pretty frequently for a while. And then, I did a comfrey compress once, and the cold laser, which one of those homeopathies is actually comfrey as well. But I did the cold laser for the first little while, like 3 times a day, and the completely ridiculous crunchy thing I did. So I've got it wrapped up in this ace bandage, right? And I was like, I'm a natural fibers nerd, and I currently have like this spandex elastic thing wrapped around my broken foot. that makes no sense.
Lack of integrity.
Right. I was like, why would I mean, it's only like maybe a couple hours. Like I came onto that really quick. I was like, I don't want this. I don't want this on my body. I don't, especially on my broken part of my body. And so I was like, I need a natural fibered bandage immediately. And I looked around, I tried to order something on Amazon that was like organic cotton or some linen and like nothing that I could get in quickly. I did find a few options. I think I might go ahead and invest and get them in the house now. But like I just was like, okay, there's nothing that's gonna get here within like the month. So I found my sewing stash of things that I needed to like repair. I had some old 100% wool leggings, like little girl leggings that the knees had been completely destroyed. And I kept going, I'll patch that or sew it up or, and just had it. And I was like, okay, this just became my bandage. And so I cut it up and sewed it to where it was like just one straight long piece of fabric and wrapped my foot in wool. And I feel like it healed really rapidly. My chiropractor said just to stay off of it for at least 2 weeks, 2 to 3 ideally. And then after that, I could be in a boot if I wanted to, but she just really encouraged me to stay off of it as much as possible. She was like, especially the boot's going to make you uneven. You'll definitely want to come for an adjustment afterwards. And so just stayed really holistic about the whole thing. And I was a good patient and I stayed off of it. And it's healed really, really well. And then God came in and gave me a miraculous healing while I was out of birth. And so that just was the cherry on top of it. Like it was healing really fast and I was being able to get around pretty decently, but it still was hurting. And so I was in the boot and I had 2 births that I needed to attend and I'm on call for another. And I was like, it's in the way. You try to sit down in front of someone to like, hold space for them. And you're like, let me move my big plastic honking foot in front of your face. Just like, okay, I'm sorry. Let me, there's like no graceful, like, okay, let me tiptoe across the room with my clonk, clonk, clonk. Just like,
right.
Okay. So, I was in the middle of like a worship session at a particularly long and kind of just, it's been a beautiful birth, but it was just, there's some difficulties and things that were coming up. And so we had the birth team was taking a moment to just pray and worship. And it was really a beautiful time. Mom was resting in the other room. And all of a sudden I was like, my foot doesn't hurt. And so I like reach down and I pull it out of the boot. Everybody just kind of closed their eyes and they're worshiping and we're singing. And I wish I could remember the song. I remember the next song, but I wish I could remember the song that was playing. I'll have to ask Michaela. But we're worshiping and I'm realizing my foot, wait a second, I'm putting a lot of weight even on the boot. This doesn't hurt. I don't. And so I pull my foot out and I put it down and I'm just standing fully. And I was like, it's healed. Like it's healed. And I start jumping. And I was like, and they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, it's not hurting. I was like, he healed me. And then the song ends and the next song that comes on is, I can't remember the title of it, but it's like, standing in your love.
Yes.
I can't remember the first song. Oh, I was singing it then, but it was just that I'm standing in your love portion that I was just like, oh, you're so good, God. I'm standing here in your love. Like, you're so sweet. So now,
and you weren't even like asking for healing, right? It was not like the point of the prayer session.
No, we were worshiping for this mama and for this birth, and just all of a sudden, my foot was like, I wasn't worried about my foot, but he just was like, also do this.
So good.
And so it was just so precious, just being in his presence took care of the last bit of healing that it needed. And then the other midwife that was present, because it was a twin birth, so I had a second midwife present and she was like, okay, come here. Because I was like, I now feel all sorts of uneven, just like my chiropractor said, you're going to be uneven.
Yeah.
Because I'd been not using that leg for a whole 4 weeks and I'd been in the boot for a week or so. And I was like in and out of the boot. I would be completely off it and I would put the boot back on when I really needed to. And so I was like, wow, I'm uneven. So we did a sideline release on me, and then she went in there and was like
perfect.
releasing my like sacral tuberous ligaments and my piriformis, and we were just like doing all the things we do for moms, just like the
That's
basic
awesome.
body work things we know. And then she's like, okay, your leg's even now. So I am just, it just was cool. So anyways, that was a
That's
fun
so
little
beautiful.
testimony. But yeah, so there was the broken foot fiasco that ended up being a really cool testimony, and also
Absolutely
has taught some other people, because they were like, man, I've always said I don't really use the medical system until like if I broke a bone. And then like then you didn't even use it then. Like you didn't go to the emergency room, you didn't. I was like, I would have gone if it had been displaced, or if it had, like had any, like I did use an x-ray machine, but
right. Yep.
that, it was like, I didn't just neglect it, but I did some very intentional different ways. And there was a lot of people that were very fascinated by that. And so just kind of opening up the other opportunities there are for healing and caring for your body.
Super unusual. But I think what I love about it is you didn't just like, you were just like, I will never go to the medical system no matter what.
No.
You were more just like, okay, I've assessed, they helped me diagnose with an x-ray machine, which is a medical thing. But due to the specific nature of my particular break and the tools that I have on hand and the knowledge that I have, I feel equipped to deal with this without the medical system. Whereas if it had been a different kind of break, or you didn't have the tools on hand, or you didn't have the knowledge, you wouldn't have been like, I'm still not going.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, and I
Which
did
is
consult
the way
a
of the hearth,
doctor that
mother.
is, I did consult a doctor that, I knew she had the same views as I do. She views the body the same way, and she knows bones. And she was like, I'm not a foot expert, but, like, don't quote me on all of this, like, so she wasn't just acting out of scope or anything, she was just like, I can do the x-ray. And, you take that information, however like, I cannot do that. So she only did what was within her scope and gave me some information, but like, was very helpful. And I appreciated that. So, know your people, like find your tribe that can help support you in situations, and, use wisdom. But yeah, it was very interesting journey. And some people were like, it's broken, but you only have it in wrap. And I'm like, yeah, because they don't recommend rice anymore. And it's, we don't want to ice it like that causes tissue damage. And we're just supposed to elevate it and have some movement. So like the casting, if it's not displaced, you actually don't want to be in a cast. You need to have a little bit of that movement. So it was just interesting, and it was also like a learning opportunity for a lot of people. So that was fun. I guess that's just also my life. But yeah. So that was one chaotic thing. There was more.
I'm so glad you're feeling
I don't know
better.
if there's time for all that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure. Okay.
I can tell. I don't care. So the other fiasco was that my house almost burned down. We had this massive laughing because it's just insane. It was not funny. It was quite terrifying, but it was on Father's Day, and there was a massive lightning storm. And I mean, like, it took thunderstorms to like the next level. There was lightning hitting everywhere, like all over the place. You just seeing it. Hitting our property, all around the house, all the things. And we actually weren't home. So we had gone out for Father's Day. Brandon wanted to hang out with the kids and spend some time with them. And then my oldest had said, for Father's Day, I wanted to give you some time with just mom. Like, go take a break and go have dinner and hang out. And so he gave him babysitting, essentially, for his Father's Day gift. And so we decided to just go for dinner, and then we were going to go play some. We're a big game family, and since he just wanted to do it right then, we didn't really have any plans. We were going to go into my mom's office, which is just a separate building that we had access to. And I was like, we'll just go play board games in her office. So we're eating dinner. My kids are all, with my oldest son, and we leave the restaurant and I'm like, man, this storm is coming in fast. It looks crazy. Should we go? I wish I had listened to myself. Or I think it was probably Holy Spirit, but I was like, should we just go home? And he was like, they're fine. Like, I was like, maybe let me check in to see if they're getting scared or anything, because this is really loud and intense. Like the lightning was just, there was a lightning strike. Like, I swear it was like 5 feet, 10 feet, 20 feet, like just, and it was all over the town.
Wow.
Like, it was like, like an earthquake of lightning all over the place. It was insane. And I was like, I'm a little concerned that they're going to get scared. It's so loud. And I texted and he was like, no, everybody's fine. We're good. And so we go to the office and it's pouring down rain and I'm got a broken foot. And so he's trying to get out something to help me like get from the car, because at the time I was using like scooters and wheelchairs and different things. And Aiden calls and he had silenced it because he was like standing and pouring, he's trying to get the stuff out. And then he calls me and so I answer it and he's like, Mom, the house is on fire. Like I was like, oh my God. Like, he's like, the lightning struck the house. The whole basement is filled with smoke. I can't find where the flames are, but like I can smell something burning. And I was like,
oh my
okay,
gosh.
get all the kids upstairs. He's like, it's not like on fire, but like I can't find the source. And I was like, we're coming, we're coming. Get everybody upstairs in one place. He's like, I already did. I'm just downstairs by myself trying to find. They're all waiting on the couch by the door. I told him if I screamed that they needed to go out that door, but everybody's together. And I was like, okay.
Look at this
I'm so proud of
kid.
you.
He's
like,
amazing. That's so good.
So good. He was like, I already planned, but I don't find flames, so I'm still in the house because of that. I'm trying to find where it's at. And so I was like, just run your hand along the wall because it's a lightning, so it's like in the wires likely. And so he's running his hand, and I call my mom, who's next door, on the same property. I was like, the house, got struck. There's, smoke. Can you please go and, please go. We're coming there, but we're at your office, which is about a 4-minute drive maybe. And so we actually made it over faster than my parents did, because when I call her, she's like, yeah, same. Her house had gotten struck by lightning, and
you didn't tell me that part.
Yeah, so she has a foster daughter right now. They have a foster daughter right now, and she's like, she just got struck. Like she was holding her phone, and it was plugged into the wall on the charger, and when the lightning hit, it went through her, and she was like, so I'm checking my teenager right now, but we're coming. Like we're coming,
Oh my.
And so she's like, our house doesn't seem to have, nothing seems to on fire here. She's okay, but so they got there literally at the same time we did. Like, so they moved fast, but they had to check their house and then come to check my house. And so we kind of all pull into the driveway at the exact same time. And at that point there was a little bit of smoke and you could smell it burning. And when you walked into the downstairs bathroom, there was a hole in the wall that had shot the little trash can across the bathroom, and there was 3 separate smoke points. And it had blown like my whole prenatal room, like all the electricity things were gone. And
sorry,
so
I shouldn't laugh, but I'm laughing because you wanted to have less lights. And
I know, right?
I guess.
Yeah, it took out my very pretty lantern or lamp that was an LED lamp, and I couldn't fix that. But it was like it's so pretty. And so I was very sad about it. But I was like, well, I'll have to replace it with something that I would want to use anyways. Didn't really use the light on it. I just used it because it's aesthetic. And the base was a charger for my devices, so I could set my phone on it and it was just right there. And I didn't have to have a cord. And so I liked it. And now it doesn't work. So it's just sitting there useless, but pretty. But that seems to be the only thing. It didn't take out my printer. It didn't, like, everything else seemed to be fine.
Good.
He was able to, or at least easily fixed. He was able to fix the things that it was only out for like 2 days or so before he was able to figure out what wires were affected and then fix the room. Cause like all the outlets didn't work and all the, like it just, so the only thing that was like, didn't work and was needing to be replaced is the lamp, but it did take out that whole side of the house for a little bit. and it damaged obviously the wall and the bathroom, but the bathroom was going to go through a remodel very soon anyways. So it's like, it was minimal. And then about 30 minutes later, my parents' house got struck again. And the top half of the house, I'm telling you, the lightning was everywhere. It was intense. So they got struck again. And then the top of the house did the same thing as ours, filled with smoke, couldn't find the source. And it took out their HVAC system. So they got hit way hard, and it destroyed their HVAC system. So yeah, it was an intense Father's Day. And then we got all that settled. And then I got called to a birth that night. It's like, okay, my house, my kids are fine, and my house is fine, and I'm leaving, and okay. So yeah,
like your nervous system gets all riled up, and then you have to go.
Yeah,
try to be the most peaceful, calm, present midwife you can be.
It was tricky. A lot. It was very tricky. And then I went from that birth to the next birth. So there's just been a lot that I haven't gotten to process really yet. And then lost a friend this week as well. And so there's been a lot of fiascos and chaos. And some of them have been, I mean, like none of them are silly, but like looking back, it's like, okay, that was intense, but we're fine. That was intense, but we're fine.
Yeah.
But lots of fiascos, but
it's a good word, fiasco.
It is, isn't it? But God took care of us and provided and protected, and I'm so thankful. My parents are fine. So anyway, extra prayers of protection over the halls would be appreciated, because there's a lot going on over here. And,
so glad you're all okay.
Yeah.
Those were not fun texts to get from you. Seriously, they did great. They did
really great. I was so very proud of them. Oh, and in the midst of that, Zach almost got struck as well. So he had gone outside to care for the chickens as the storm was starting, to make sure that they, had gotten in the coop and all the things. And as he's walking back from the house, it was just pouring down rain, like it was monsoon. And this lightning struck right in front of him. And he's like, and I saw two sparks, like, land in the puddle and last a little longer than I have ever seen sparks last. And I was like, that's fun. And he was like, yeah, it was kind of cool. And I was like, child. No, it wasn't.
I can totally see him saying that, though. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I can.
So I was like, are you okay? Because then he kind of just like reclused into the, once we're like, okay, everything's fine, you guys can disperse. He kind of reclused into a back room. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go check on him. Is he scared? Is he jarred? And he was like, I'm fine. It's like, okay. Are you sure? He's like, yeah, it was kind of cool. Okay.
He's gonna be casual about it.
Yeah.
All right, Zach.
So yeah, that was an eventful night, and then eventful, like it was a pretty straightforward birth, so that was good. But
that is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, and now I'm leaving. Good luck. Nobody die.
Wow.
So anyway.
Yeah, I have no comparable drama over here. So
well, that's good.
I got nothing on the fiasco front.
Please don't.
It's not. I just kind of wish I had like a good fiasco story to match yours. I could tell you an old, very brief smoke without a discernible source fire or story though.
Yeah.
Briefly, I was working out in our detached garage back at our old house when I got a fire from Tim that there's a fire in our house, or a call that there's a fire in our house. And he couldn't figure out where it was coming from, but there was smoke everywhere. So I came running back from the detached garage was like pretty far away. I kept running back to the front where the house was and go in. And I quickly found it. And what it was, they had called the fire department already and evacuated. But before the fire department even arrived, I discovered in the microwave a bunny, a stuffed bunny that was stuffed with lavender and rice, like bunny.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Stuffed with lavender and rice. You know, you're supposed to like heat it up for like 30 seconds to a minute or something to heat it up, and then it's like a cozy. Well, my daughter had erroneously put it in for far too long, and it combusted in the microwave. So we had pulled this like ashy, smoking, like blackened stuffed bunny out of the microwave and pulled it out of the house. But yeah, never nice to see smoke coming out of your house and not be able to figure out where it's coming from. I was
It was not
relieved that it was just a bunny, but
just a bunny.
And then the fire department came, and that was kind of embarrassing because you're like, sorry, we just over microwaved a stuffed bunny. You can go home.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it happens.
I'm glad. Yeah. Just, I don't know. It did make me go, okay, where's our smoke detectors? Do they all work? Yep, they do. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's a good reminder to check on stuff like that.
Yeah, glad that everybody knew what to do in the fire. And they were like, we didn't leave just because there was no fire. It seemed like it had gone out. So I was like, okay, good job. But they were all ready. And so, I don't know. Proud moment for them that they held it all together. I think my kids are pretty good in emergencies. Probably all the years on the road that we've had a lot of fiascos.
Yeah. They're equipped for fiascos. That's great.
They are. They really are. Poor kids.
Well, I know we should probably wrap up. I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, here's my only fiasco, Lauren. You can see this. Our listeners can't. My bangs are a fiasco of a minor sort. I decided I needed bangs cut again, and so I got them cut like right before my birthday. So that was like 2 months ago. And they're just growing out and now they're awkward, but I don't. So I either have to like trim them myself or go back to my hairstylist for a bang trim, which she does do for free.
Right.
So I guess I could just do that. But this was funny because Hazel said to me the other day, "That's what I don't like about bangs, Mom. They're just not sustainable."
Sustainable. It's true.
I was like, "You're right. You're not wrong."
Unsustainable bangs.
Yeah. So my cute little fringe bangs have turned into like by necessity a side swipe because they would otherwise be in my eyeballs.
They're a little bit of a fiasco. I say with love.
Yeah, they are. Thank you. I know I have to fix them. But in case our listeners care about such things, this is a little beauty product note. You know how, maybe this is just a me problem, but your bangs can get really greasy because, you have like forehead grease. And so my rest of my hair doesn't need to be washed, but my bangs will be greasy. I recently discovered the Rocasa brand.
Yeah, Rocasa.
Oh my gosh, it's so awesome. Good. Yeah. Like their shampoo bar and their conditioner bar, top notch. But then they have this dry shampoo that comes in 3 different colors based on your hair tone.
Yeah.
And that dry shampoo has been amazing for my greasy bang problem. So I just thought I would mention that. No, I don't make money off it. I'm not a distributor or whatever. I just thought I would share.
I love that. And you hadn't told me about that. And I'm really glad you mentioned it because I have used a few of Rocasa's products, but I don't use a ton of toiletries anymore. Honestly, we've just kind of made them, but the shampoo bar was something I had like, do I want to buy that? Do I not? At my farmer's market, she has like a little, they have a little market of all the things that they grow and raise on their farm, but then they bring in things, and sell too in this tiny little like grocery store basically that they've built. And she orders Rocasa, and so I'd be able to support my local farmer in the midst of being able to buy Rocasa. So I kept going.
That's a good idea.
I don't know. Do I want to? And so now I know. Now I want to try it.
Yeah, my review of the shampoo and conditioner bar is very positive. Awesome. And I wash my hair only twice a week, and it really that's enough. So yeah,
love that.
That may be more than some people, less than others. I recognize. Yeah.
Sure.
Anyway, so there's your beauty tip from the girls who don't really do beauty things. Listeners. Not really our forte.
It's not.
In fact, the last 2 times I tried to wear mascara, I ended up getting styes in my eye. So I'm just like, why do I do this to myself? I should just stop.
Right. I don't know the last time I wore makeup. It's been so long. Just so funny because if you knew me as like a young preteen into teenage years and into young adulthood, honestly, like I was a preteen, I was doing modeling. I was a model. Like what? So different than my lifestyle now. And like, I mean, like, and then like I was the girl like going to the tanning bed and getting my nails done at the salon and having my hair done and buying buying shoes, tons of shoes. I had so many heels. Oh my goodness. Like, and I was so proud that I could, like, I don't know. It was ridiculous. I was so vain. I was so vain. That poor child.
You had like a glamour and fashion like phase.
I did.
Of your
I had
life.
a very deep
And
glamour and
when you
fashion
first shared that
phase.
with me, I was kind of like jaw drop. Like it's really hard for me to reconcile that description of you with the you that I know. I believe you, but
I have to pull out proof.
please do.
Yeah,
that would be really amusing for all
people who knew me then. I mean, like, I was such a different human pre-Jesus. I mean, yeah, I've got quite the testimony of just very, very different life, and in the midst of that was also in just different crowd, and so my priorities were different, and my view of myself was different, and yeah, and so that outplayed in a lot of ways. But yeah, I mean, I was glamour and fashion and street racing, and I mean, I was a whole different person. Like, whole different person. Yes.
Oh,
car modeling. I mean, like, a whole different person.
wow.
Yeah.
If we had a Patreon, this would be like the kind of content you'd put behind the paywall. For $5 a month, you can see Lauren's photo album from her wild days.
I don't know
if
that
you just joined Patreon.
I don't know that I would do that. Don't think so. Those pictures are forever hidden because people don't need to see that. They didn't need to see that. But yeah, it was funny. Yeah, I was a different person pre-Jesus. So,
yeah.
But
well,
anyhow, that's a fun way to end
that's how it's supposed to work.
Yeah, I was. That's a fun way to end this. Things you didn't know about Lauren. The street racing really gets people. They're like, "You did what?" Like, yes, I did. A lot of things.
Yeah, it's a bit shocking.
It is. Now I don't even speed. I still love a good fast car. But now I have babies to worry about. So, you know.
And how many pairs of shoes do you own now?
2? Maybe 3.
It's about the same for me. Like, I have my winter shoes, and then I have my spring, summer, fall shoes. 2 pairs. What?
Right. I mean,
yeah, okay, that's not true. I have to have winter boots too. I have winter boots.
Yeah, so I have my wildlings, and then I did have it. I guess I have 4, but like 2 just had to be like they were dead. So like I don't have those anymore. So now I have 2, and there are like I need a good pair of sandals because the sandals died. But yeah, like I pretty much have like a shoe for like the appropriate, okay, it's cold, it's hot. Like,
yes,
a shoe I can wear with a dress. Like, that's all I need.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Yeah. My shoe collection of those days, I was obsessed with like Aldo shoes, and I had like so many heels for days, like a closet full of heels, like 50, 60 heels. It was stupid. It's stupid.
And now the part of you that knows about how important alignment is probably just cringing at the very thought of it.
I lived in heels for so long in my life.
And now we're in zero drop.
Yeah, now I'm zero drop. Only please. No, thank you. It was funny. It was about 2 years ago. I had some left in storage, and I had pulled out like my favorite pair of high-heeled boots because it matched this dress like perfectly. And I was like, I'm going to this wedding. They're perfect matched. It's the perfect color. It looks great. I'm only going to go to this, I'm going to be there for 2 hours. Girl, did those things come off so quick. Put them on, and my kids were like, what is happening? It's like, they matched the dress. It was tapping into my old, like, self. I was like, they're so cute, and I love them, and they're like, you love them? Like, what? I was like, they're adorable. Okay, I don't love them anymore. It's fine, I don't need these. It's like, okay.
You just had a little flare-up of nostalgia for your old shoes.
Or my old shoes. Don't need them. It's fine. They came off so fast. It's like my poor pelvis.
Oh my word, yes. I once wore heels to a concert that turned out to be standing only. I didn't know ahead of time it was standing room only. on a concrete floor, and that was one of the worst nights of my life. I could not enjoy that show.
Right?
But I have, yeah. Okay, as long as we're telling shocking things about our past, I'll just share this one thing, and then we probably should end this conversation. It's not shocking in the same way as yours, but people who know me, it often makes them go, "You what?" Which is namely that in high school, I was, for 1 year, a pom-pom girl. I was on the pom-pom team. Pom-pom. Do you know what pom-pom is?
I have no idea what
you don't know?
Is this pom-poms like cheerleaders?
Okay. It's not cheerleading, but it's like there are pom-poms like the cheerleaders hold, and you do choreographed dances at halftime at the basketball games.
Sure. So kind of like a cheerleader,
and you wear
but not.
Kind of, yeah. There's no actual yelling or cheering, but there's like dancing with pom-poms and like cute little outfits with the short skirts. And I did that for 1 season. And it's kind of embarrassing to me because I'm like, I don't know what I was thinking. It was so incongruent with everything about me even then.
Yeah.
But there it is. I do have pictures to prove it.
Yeah. I was a cheerleader for basketball. So also different.
Okay.
Also different.
Yeah.
But it was mainly because I loved the tumbling portions. But
you got to tumble.
I did not. Okay. Even then, I didn't fit in with the crowd that I just wanted to tumble.
That's awesome.
Anyhow.
All right, friend.
All right. Well,
let's wrap up this ridiculous
weirdness.
It was fun. All right. Well, listeners, thanks for thanks for eavesdropping on our kind of all over the place conversation. Naming this episode is going to be a challenge.
Right.
But I hope you enjoyed it.
Fiascos. Like
Fiascos and Fashion.
Fiascos and Fashion.
All right. We'll catch you later.
Bye.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Holy Wild Birth. We hope that you were genuinely encouraged, inspired, and challenged by what you heard today. If you're loving what you hear, please make sure that you share it. Leave reviews. That helps other mamas find this content as well. And don't forget to read the show notes, okay? Because that's where you can find our email address if you want to reach out to us and start a conversation. It's also where you'll find free offerings as well as invitations to work with me and or Lauren. We can't wait to get to know you. See you next week.